Good morning. It's Friday, December 23rd. And this morning, as I was having my coffee in the kitchen and I'm listening to the radio, which is something I quite often do in order to find something to rant about, I hear about Suffolk County and their computer system and how they just fired they didn't fire the guy. They put the information director on leave. And so, of course, then I go in and I open up the New York Times and I find out what the particulars are. What's really happened to the Suffolk County computer system? Well, they've been hacked. A serious hacking. And the first incident started way back in December of 2021. At that same time, in late 2021, the United States Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency issued an urgent advisory that organizations were vulnerable to the software flaw that attacked Suffolk County. So we, the Suffolk County officials and cybersecurity force here, were not paying attention. So here is a county with several million people living in it, exposed to this hacking group called the BLACKCAT. And of course the whole thing starts out innocently enough. These guys get in through some back door that nobody even knows is open. But the information director, the person responsible for the security of this system, has allowed people to bypass security measures. For some reason or other, he has ignored whatever security systems they put in place. Now, normally, when I open up any item online, there's a two-step process. They ask me for my name and some identification. I got a key and a password. Nothing. So now the county has shut their system down. But they shut it down several times over the past year in order to avoid being hacked. These hackers sent out little notes to them after a while, showed them how much information they had collected, and they demanded millions of dollars. So what did the county do? They didn't pay. They shut the system down and they started working manually. So we have a county that's running like it was 1990 because they've been hacked. And what do? They don't call experts right in to get themselves together. They take their group, who somehow or other weren't paying much attention, recognizing they're hacking and they're getting killed. They don't go out and find some people to defend them. They're trying to do it all by themselves. And a whole year goes by. And it reaches the point, I guess, where they give up and we finally find out what's going on. The hackers stole information and it forced the county to shut down their email for all of the 10,000 civil service workers in Suffolk County. They were shut off from the email. And this goes back to December 19th, 2021. So these hackers got in through a flaw in an obscure but commonplace piece of software. So these guys knew what they were doing. They probably got into plenty of other systems using that same commonplace piece of software. But did the county do homework? The county check out and make sure that everything is going on in their system is going to work? I mean, this is not a system for a small business. This is a system that has over a million customers are involved with this thing. Now, the county may not look at it that way, but let's face it, they probably have all kinds of information about the residents. Certainly they know the value of the houses and the mortgage payments and stuff like that. So think of the exposure that the population of Suffolk County was put under because of the ineptitude of this inspector that they put on leave. And the rest of the guys who are looking over this guy's shoulder or weren't paying attention to what he was doing. Now you're telling me that for a year this guy's letting people bypass the security system and there's nobody in authority that recognizes that fact and puts a stop to it? Something's wrong. Something's wrong in Suffolk County. And right now, immediately following the discovery of the attack, now that's a year ago, this investigation is still incomplete. It's trying to figure out how and when the hacking really started. Well, it started in December 2021. We know that. But meanwhile, the system is up and running. Almost. Not everything is back online, and there are many workarounds that still remain in place. Is this any way to run a business, a company, a government? No. Why didn't they get experts in? And maybe they did, but the experts are not expert enough. I've seen that happen. I have seen that people will tend to hire their friends and not necessarily experts. So I'm not commenting on who they hired or what they did or how much help they got or if they got any help at all, because the article remains stum on that fact. And right now the FBI is investigating. And they're trying to put the total blame for this thing on the IT director, right? Saying that his office's cybersecurity in the lead up to the attack was very nonchalant. And meanwhile, the inspector has said that he asked for a lot of help, that he needed more robust cybersecurity protection. He says he emailed people several times and asked that he get help, and he was rebuffed. Those requests were ignored by the county. So this is an entire mess. You got people pointing fingers left and right. The bottom line is the county was attacked and they screwed up and they didn't know what to do when they didn't get help fast enough. They should have shut the damn system down immediately. But that's not exactly how they work. They're not that intelligent. The people who are entrusted with the information that most of us have provided them over the years. The county is saying they never got the emails or they weren't ignored or whatever the hell they're saying. Meanwhile, this inspector is on leave. He's not fired. Because it's difficult to fire a civil servant, you know, even though they're inept. So let's hope that the county is no longer asleep at the switch, and going forward we will have an up-to-date system. So I leave you with that this morning. Nobody's perfect, but there's something to be said for trying to be perfect. Have a great day. Bye.